Hello, and welcome to episode 90 of the podcast, The Franchise. I'm your guest host for this week, Paul Kersey.
And I'm your guest host, dude, the actor Ed Lauder, because I don't remember my character's name, dude. But I'm glad that you're back here being a vigilante. We can't have that here in the streets, dude. No way, dude.
It's 2018. I'm a podolante. And I've got a voice made of rocks and a face that looks like the Grand Canyon.
You might have been cryogenically frozen, dude, but we need you back. And I'll pretend I didn't see a thing.
I've got a mustache that looks like that mischievous caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, Dad. Come on, Dad. Seriously, Dad.
Listen, we're still in Death Wish land here on the franchise.
Yeah, we really are. We're
Good
mired
heavens.
in it. We are mired. Almost done.
Yeah. I will say, this was less of a chore for me than it was last week. Do you feel the opposite?
You know what? I don't want to spoil anything. I mean, now this was more of a chore because the first one had the novelty of me not having seen it in a long time. So this was more of a chore. Yeah.
To me, this is not as much of a chore because these movies aren't real movies. That's
Right.
the key difference here. Death Wish 1 and 2, they're like trying to say something, but they've got nothing to say.
Right.
Now, Death Wish 3 and 4, they're just silly. They're just silly billies having a real nice time.
Yeah, but those differences between 3 and 4, too, of course, which we'll get to in tone and execution.
I couldn't agree more. Execution, that's a good word for this.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. That's why I used it.
Yeah. Okay, so Death Wish 3. It's now 1985. 3 years since the last Death Wish movie. As we've talked about, the perfect amount of time between sequels. 3 years.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So we're going to tighten up the script, right? We're going to make sure we've got everything in place. We got to put out a quality product here.
Yes, absolutely.
Or we could just get Michael Winner again.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay. Now, Michael Winner, the director of Death Wishes 1 through 3, he had another couple flops between 2 and 3. And Charles Bronson, our erstwhile pal, hey gang, he's still like wants to give this guy some work.
I think it's a real pity job.
I think it's a loyalty thing. Bronson seems like the type of guy, you do me a favor, I'll do you. And it's
That's
like
true.
These guys must have seen each other murder so many hookers over the course of 10 years of knowing each other that like they genuinely owe each other.
Well, we know Michael Winner's definitely done that.
Listen,
yeah.
Michael Winner's a scumbag and a half, as we'll talk
Lord.
about.
Oh.
Okay, so Winner's back in the winner's circle.
Winter is coming.
No,
Sorry.
not true.
No.
Don Jacoby is our new writer, but just to show you how this movie went, he's not using Don Jacoby. He has a stage name for this one. It's Michael Edmonds is his fake name. And this is a fella who... He was a Canon guy at the time. We're still under the banner of Canon making these movies. And his best credit for Canon is a great film called Life Force.
Right, which I've never seen.
It's a great movie. It's like an alien comes to Earth and she's a sexy lady with some big old boobs.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to check it out for sure.
I genuinely recommend it. It's a good time. So he wrote that was a hit for Canon. So he gets to write Death Wish 3. He goes on to he gets to write Death Wish 3. He goes on to write some other classics, Henry.
Yeah, what are they?
I'll tell you one movie I genuinely like,
Oh,
and that
ooh.
is Arachnophobia.
Oh yeah, I used
Yeah.
to love that movie when I was a kid. I haven't seen it in a long time.
No, it's a great movie.
Still holds up.
It's on my
Yeah.
top 10, I think, for that year.
Oh, okay, okay. All right.
And then he goes on, he writes Double Team, the classic Jean-Claude Van Damme, Dennis Rodman vehicle, okay? A great
Right,
movie.
right.
He's got green hair. Jean-Claude Van Damme's coked out of his mind. It is a winner, okay? Then he goes
Yeah,
on to
yeah.
write the John Carpenter film Vampires. All right,
Oh, okay,
a great
wow.
movie. James Woods is in there going like, "What you want to ban guns? How am I going to kill these vampires? You know, we
Right.
listen. We got to build the wall to keep the vampires out of America."
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
what I'm saying is he's a piece of shit.
We're gonna have to do this the hard way. Am I right? What are we doing? What are we doing over here?
James Woods, one of the most despicable human beings since Michael Winner.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a shame I haven't been able to watch Once Upon a Time in America since finding out that James Woods is a shit human.
Yeah, that happens, man.
I'll get back to it. Listen, I could still. I watched Wonder Wheel 2 weeks ago, so clearly I can look past the artist. But
yeah, no, it's tough. It's
tough
when it's
sometimes.
fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I thought I might have a hard time with old Johnny Voight, and he was still delightful in those National Treasure movies.
What did John Voight do recently?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Just because he's an asshole in real life,
Yeah.
or did he do a specific thing?
No, he's fine. He's not nearly as bad as James Woods.
Right. He's just a jerk off.
Yeah. He's just
Oh,
always
yeah.
being an asshole to his daughter and shit.
Right.
And he wrote that movie Evolution, the Ivan Reitman movie. That's just like
Ooh.
Ghostbusters, but with David Duchovny.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
Saw it in theaters.
Didn't see it ever.
So that's the career of Michael Edmonds.
Okay.
But really Don Jacoby. Michael Edmonds only wrote Death Wish 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Oh, good summary.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Death Wish 3 was released November 1st, 1985.
Yeah.
Just in time for Oscar season.
They didn't want it to be like released, in February '85, because then you'd have forgotten about it by the '86 Oscars.
Absolutely. It takes
yeah.
a lot to get you to remember. You got to keep staying in the mind, like Get Out or something.
Right. That's
They
right.
wanted to get in there and get those nominations, like The Artist.
Right. Oh, yeah. This is like that a little bit. Yeah.
Or Slumdog Millionaire.
Okay. Yeah. Just, two of the worst winners, huh? There's some Crash in there. You got a hat trick.
Though they all come out late in the year. They want to be remembered in time for Oscar season. Hit those voters right in their screeners.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so a budget of $10 million, $1.5 million of that went to Charles Bronson.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay.
A box office of $16 million. It didn't do that great, but
Not
enough
so
to keep
good.
making these babies. The next movie they severely cut the
I guess.
budget. That's how we end up doing things.
Right.
So Death Wish 3, it opens. We're back in New York. Okay.
Oh, do you want to do our 1985 movies? or-
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right. Let's do our 19. I never wrote down like box office shit that I usually do.
It's okay.
Okay, fine. Okay.
We've done it before, so I'm sure you did it when we did Fletch.
And Back to the Future.
Right.
Okay. What are your top 10 movies of 1985, Henry?
All right. Number 10 is To Live and Die in L.A.
Great movie. William
Yep.
Friedkin?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I have here number 10, Reanimator.
I never saw Reanimator.
I saw it because the guy who wrote it was a professor at my college.
Oh, I remember this conversation. You told me this.
Yeah. I wanted to kiss up to that guy.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Number 9, Year of the Dragon.
Right. I've never seen that. That's a Michael Cimino.
Yes, Mickey Rourke. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
My number 9 is Clue the movie.
Ah, okay. My number 8 is one of my favorite comedies with Richard Pryor and John Candy, Brewster's Millions. Did you ever see it?
I watched it on TV as a kid. Yeah.
No, there's a lot of swearing and shit.
Yeah, I've never seen a swearing cut of Brewster's Millions.
No, that's key.
Okay.
That's key. Yeah. Right.
My number 8 is To Live and Die in L.A.
Oh, nice. My number 7 is Brazil.
That's my number 7.
Oh, look at that. My number 6 is Witness.
Ooh, yeah. Amish. Hey, Witness was was it Death Wish 3 or Death Wish 4 where they're in a video store for a minute and there was like a stand-up cardboard ad for Witness.
Oh, that's in 4, but I didn't remember seeing that. I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, that's in there too, but I saw Witness was there.
Wow.
Yeah. It was
All
Texas
right.
Chainsaw Massacre 2, I believe, because Cannon produced it. Every fucking poster in that scene was a Cannon release.
Oh, man.
Just like when we covered fucking Scream, and there's that video store where every movie is Miramax.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Don't
Your
take
number
the black
6?
light to that video store.
No, that's for sure.
My number 6 is After Hours.
Oh, yeah. My number 5 is The Breakfast Club.
My number 5 is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Great movie.
Yeah.
It's not on my list.
Should be.
Great movie. Number 4, Fletch.
Yeah, it might be like number 10 on my list if I redid it.
I think it would make your list.
But this list was made before I saw Fletch for the podcast.
Right.
Check out our Fletch coverage. It's a good episode.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. My number 4 we're on?
Yeah.
Is The Purple Rose of Cairo.
Oof. Yeah.
To me, it's one of his best films.
For me, it's one of the very few misfires in his
from the 80s.
Yeah, in his 25-year stretch of filmmaking that I admire. That's one of the very few misfires, actually. Yeah.
I love it. I think it's a perfect film.
Yeah. Not me.
Okay.
Number 3 for me is After Hours.
My number 3 is The Breakfast Club.
Oh, I didn't even know that would make your list.
I love that movie dearly.
Yeah, so do I.
I found a journal that I wrote in 8th grade where I wrote pages and pages about The Breakfast Club.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
Wow, inappropriate.
I think I'd only seen it on TV, and then when I was in 8th grade, I bought it on VHS.
Yeah.
And I watched the fuck out of it that year.
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't own it anymore because mine, I think when I was a teenager, I taped it off of Encore.
Encore?
Yeah.
That's great.
For sure. All right. Number 2 movie of 1985 is Back to the Future.
That's my number 2 as well.
And the number 1 movie of 1985 for me is The Color Purple.
Okay.
It's a great movie. I don't know why you're laughing.
It's okay.
Oh, yeah. It was all right.
The Color Purple is hit or miss, shall we say.
I don't know, but okay.
My number 1 movie of 1985 is Akira Kurosawa's Ron.
Oh, well, okay.
What's that? You've never seen that.
Ron, no. Yeah, but it's the color. He did it in color. It's King Lear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just making fun of you because it's like a hoity-toity foreign film, but it's not
it's
really.
a great movie.
No, it is. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I believe you. I haven't seen that. I've only seen 2 Kurosawa films, but I love them both.
What, Seven Samurai and Rashomon?
No.
Which ones?
Yojimbo. And
Throne of Blood?
no, the other one that's like, is it Sanjiro?
Oh, Yojimbo and Sanjuro, yeah.
Yeah, the two that like go together, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, those I've seen and I love them. But I've never seen any other Kurosawa films. I don't think. Yeah.
He's quite a filmmaker.
I believe you.
He does it right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so Death Wish 3. We're
Yes.
back in New York City. It's the return to his hometown, baby. But
Yes.
it looks like fucking post-apocalypse. It really looks like Escape from New York.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, it's supposed to be East New York, which
Which, granted, when I was a kid, was a scary place to be.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember when I lived in New York, having several conversations with the cops in the store and all that stuff, and they would always tell me the same thing: no matter what you do, you don't want to get that beat, man. East New York, it's the worst. So it must have still been pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now you'll go there and there's, fucking girls at coffee shops.
Totally gentrified.
Yeah. Well, not totally. It's not like Williamsburg or Bushwick or
Yeah.
something, but like getting there.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. And what does the score sound like, Henry?
It's so bad, it's amazing.
But what's going on? What is the first like 30 seconds to a minute of score sound like, Henry?
Oh, dude, I'm sorry, I don't remember. I don't know.
Because here's my first note.
Because it's not Jimmy Page. Apparently.
No. This is my first note.
What's that?
Slip in the bass.
Can't believe you said it. Wow, that must have hurt. That must have hurt.
I didn't care for it.
No, I know.
But that's what it is.
No,
it's
you're right.
Slap bass extravaganza.
No, you're right. It's taken from the '80s Dirty Harry films. There's a lot of slip in the bias in those, man.
Yeah, and in some of the action scenes, we're just reusing Jimmy Page score from Death Wish 2.
Right.
Much in the same way, like, remember when we covered, like, Halloween 7 and they were just using the score from Scream?
Yeah. There's a lot of rehashing, not wanting to pay anyone, that type of thing.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. But there's a couple little, like, new songs, like, credited to different people, and it's all just, like, funky funk, yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense because this is the most unhip movie ever made.
Yeah. Well said.
The
well
message
said.
of Death Wish 3 is fucking kids today. The grown-ups should all just get together and kill them.
Not really just the grown-ups, the elderly.
The olds.
The olds.
The olds.
Yes.
Listen, because
One of my first notes is now I have to watch the elderly get abused? ? Yeah.
But the elderly fucking fight back in this movie.
Well, yeah, eventually, but we have to put up
Holy
with a
shit.
lot of torture. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's like they set up it's 10 years after the events of the first Death Wish.
I wrote that down.
Which-
10 years 10 years dude.
And I
is
have
how-
no idea what that means in the context of the series because we don't know when the second one took place. Because they give us like 5 different dates.
I was just rolling with the first movie is actually taking place in 1975, a year after the release of the movie. I just rolled with it. I spent too much time in the last movie writing down would look like a cartographer's chart of trying to figure out when these were supposed to take
I know.
place. So.
I did that too. It looked like that scene in like Back to the Future where Christopher Lloyd is mapping out, and then an alternate timeline. Like, on the
Yeah, I spent really one of those moments where I didn't even do it at the time, but now when I think about it, just looking back at myself, I'm like, what a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I'm writing this down, trying to, what am I doing?
Because it's the second one. You always care more, much like the
That's
writers and
very
directors of the series.
Very true. Very true. It starts to peter off after that.
Yeah. It's like how on that 70s show, they like pay attention like when stuff is coming out. Like Star Wars came out at the right time, like in the episode that was supposed to be like May of 1977.
Oh my
And then
God.
by the end of the series, like 1979 has like 3 different Christmas episodes. They don't give a shit.
I want to point out one of the prominent older cast members is the great Martin Balsam from 12 Angry Men. Here he gets to play one angry man.
Is he like the guy? So the premise of the movie is
Yeah.
Paul Kersey Bronson goes back to see like his old army buddy.
Right. Who we don't really get to know at all.
No, he dies immediately.
Not for a second.
Yeah. He dies. He gets killed by some gang members, and then he like meets up with one of that guy's friends, like a mutual friend.
Yeah, that's Martin Balsam.
That's Martin Balsam. Yeah. And they got to take down this gang. And at first, we only see like 4 members of the gang. So we think it's going to be like in Death Wish 2, where it's just like these like 5 guys he's got to like hunt down, and one of them, to continue the tradition of like a famous person being one of the murderers in the Death Wish movies. We do get Alex Winter, Bill from Bill and Ted,
and we do get Rico Ross, who played Frost in Aliens.
Who the fuck is that?
Yep, I catch him, baby. I catch him.
I catch him, baby. Good.
He played a character in this. Oh, what is it? It's the. Oh, he's identified as the Cuban.
Cuban.
He's black. He's black.
Okay,
but that's
okay. Well, but I like that the gang members in this movie all have different nicknames and stuff. So
the Giggler.
Yeah, the Giggler's my favorite by far. He's the MVP of the film. They all fucking. So it turns out this gang is like half the population of New York City. There's like 2 million of them.
There's millions.
Yeah.
There's millions of gang members.
And they all wear like colorful face paint. There's one that's a woman. And the rest are all men.
Right. And the lead guy was from Happy Days.
Yes, I was gonna talk about that. That is fucking crazy.
It's great.
Okay,
Gavin O'Hurley boy.
He is the original brother. Like Ron Howard's brother, who like lived in the attic, that like left in the first season.
I don't remember, man. I used to watch Happy Days when I was a little kid, but I don't remember much about it.
So in the first season, Ron Howard has a brother.
Yeah.
And then we never hear from him again.
Ooh.
They just like wrote out this brother character, and that was this guy. So
maybe he moved to New York and became a gang member.
It's very possible. This could take place in the Happy Days universe.
Why not?
The Happy Days-averse, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's me, Gary Marshall. That wasn't the original intention of Happy Days.
Gary, stop telling everybody your secrets. It's your sister calling for the 15th time.
When I saw that 5'4" Jew step into the ad audition, I just knew he was the coolest guy in the world.
He was going to be the Fonzie. He's the Fawn.
You're gonna be huge, kid. That's what I said to him back then, you know?
Henry Winkler.
Who are you being?
That's Penny Marshall.
Oh, that's Penny, of course.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I said it's your sister calling. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Penny. That's Penny's take. Penny's corner. Yeah.
my 2 cents by Penny Marshall.
It's both sides of the same coin, Gary.
Oh.
Abe Lincoln.
Oh, God.
And my voice is made of copper.
Yeah.
Just like a penny.
You're mellifluous, Penny. I don't know why you talk that way about yourself, huh?
I gave up my opera career.
Hector tells me all the time when we're hanging out. He loves the way you sound.
Oh, I haven't talked to him in 25 years.
What are you talking about? Hector Elizondo? We talk 4 times a day. It's a
Not
real
me.
Carl Reiner, Mel Brooks situation.
Once he knocked me up, he left me for good.
Okay.
Now I'm raising his little Hispanic baby.
Oh. God, stop. Oh. All right, where were we? So he's got.
So there's 2 million gang members,
and he's got to kill
him
them
and
all.
Martin Balsam are gonna fight him all. Him and the extremely ineffectual Hispanic friend he meets.
Well, he gets arrested by Ed Lauder, who you were
Right.
doing before. Every other word is dude with this guy.
Very good character actor though. He's been in a lot of
No,
cool
he's
stuff.
totally good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they takes him to the station, puts him in lockup. The guy from Happy Days is in there.
Awesome haircut, by the way.
He just has the middle bald.
Yeah, great. Really stylish.
It's really weird.
It's very strange.
Was it
Yeah.
real or was it a wig?
It looked real.
It looked
I mean,
real. I think
And-
this guy was fucking committing to Death
I
Wish
think
3.
Gavin O'Hurley has been known to be a method actor. In the film encyclopedia, I read his bio.
Yeah, maybe that's why they fucking fired him from Happy Days.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I didn't read anything on him. I don't know what his deal is. But, who knows? Yeah, it looked real. It didn't look like a wig.
No, it's a really intense haircut. I mean, this is like fucking... He's treating Death Wish 3 like Christian Bale treated The Machinist. And frankly, they're about as good as each other.
Oh.
No, you're right. Death Wish 3 is better.
love The Machinist.
Okay.
Own it. Recommend it.
Well, okay, we'll get there. Okay.
No, we won't. Who cares? Go ahead.
I want to say this. Death Wish 3 is now my favorite Death Wish movie.
Well, okay. Explain.
It's fun. It's
Nah.
easily the most fun. It's really dumb and silly, but there were. I mean, I feel insane saying this, but there were only 2 rapes.
That was bad, man.
Yeah, but they weren't as fucking. Do I just have like Stockholm syndrome with this fucking franchise?
Probably.
They
yeah.
weren't as hardcore and insensitive as the first 2.
Well, you also watched this not too long after you
No,
watched the second one, right?
I had fun with it though, man. Like
I did not.
I had fun watching Death Wish 3. Death Wish 4, the Crackdown, is an hour and 40 minutes, and that extra 10 minutes really makes a difference.
Yeah, but it's not too many spoilers, but I had a much easier time watching Death Wish 4.
Okay, we're gonna differ.
3 was 3. All right, yeah, 3 for me. I know what you mean by it being fun and goofy, but it was so poorly written and directed in every conceivable, imaginable way that it was so distracting. It couldn't be fun. It was just so ridiculous, and it was very ugly and cruel.
Henry,
And just ridiculous.
when you were younger, did you ever play the video game Double Dragon?
Loved it.
Loved it. Okay. So
Yeah.
you remember in that series, in that video game, you're
Yeah.
walking through New York,
Yeah.
and you're wearing like a karate gi, and you're just like fighting like gangbangers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
And every time you fought a gangbanger, up in the top right corner of the screen, like a life bar would show up to like show you like how they're doing health wise, so you know like how close you are
Sure,
to defeating
sure.
them. And they all
Sure.
have names, so like it probably would have said like the Giggler.
I don't remember them having names. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And to me, as someone who has seen the movie Double Dragon,
Gotcha.
Death Wish 3, I think it is like if you cut out if you like called Charles Bronson, Billy or whatever the fuck the names of those characters are
Yeah,
in Double
right.
Dragon.
Right.
Death Wish 3 is like a pretty good Double Dragon movie.
Right. Well, how can I argue with that synopsis? I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty creative.
Because all it is Bronson razzling gangbangers. He sets up booby traps in this movie.
Well, he is an architect. Yeah, he knows how to make a.
This is a movie though where we don't talk about his architecture once.
No, we
Like
don't get to.
he's such a full-time vigilante in Death Wish 3 that like I was shocked to see the architecture come back as a character trait in part 4.
Because you thought he was laid off at that point? By
I
missing
thought he
work?
was just like, I'm not working anymore. I'm just killing motherfuckers.
Yeah, I just couldn't. It was. I mean, I guess if you were able to watch this movie with no sound except for the explosions, then maybe it would be funny. But
It is funny though.
nah, I couldn't. It was just so.
It's colorful.
No, it was so artless in every conceivable way. And remember, I'm thinking also, it's just not. It's impossible. It's 1985, and I'm thinking of the other action movies coming out, and they're just so much better. And so it's just like, what, how can you? It's terrible, man.
To me, it's less dour than the other ones in this series, and I'm here to say, if you out there want to watch one Death Wish movie, make it 3.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah. I couldn't. I guess I couldn't take the gun fetishizing. It was
That
just so
bothers
much.
me too. Listen,
And there was more rape, and then just the old people getting robbed and beat up. I mean,
but
Jesus
then like,
Christ.
he puts booby traps in all the old people's apartments. And the old people were charming. Like everyone had their own little characters. Like he was defending this entire apartment complex, and each apartment had like their own little cast. Like there was like the Jewish couple that like invites them to dinner for some kugel. I'm listening. And that was Gary Marshall. Now I
the ever-present Gary Marshall, because he's no
my,
longer with us.
He's my sidekick now.
Yeah. And I have Penny Marshall on my phone on a little FaceTime app.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah, she's there anytime you need her.
And there were just like silly touches of this movie, and there was such a perfunctory love story that I kind of loved.
Oh my god.
So wait, let me give you the setup, because this explains a lot of what I like about this movie. Ed Lauder, the cop, pulls him out of holding and gives him license. He's like, listen, you can be a vigilante,
dude,
but you're reporting to me.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, like, kill motherfuckers, go ahead, but I'll tell you who to kill.
Yeah, it's true.
Insane. I was expecting them to put out a fucking bat signal on the roof for this guy. It's amazing.
Kersey signal.
Yeah, Kersey signal. What would it be? Just a big mustache?
It'd be like a big. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
And so he gets this public defender who is a good-looking lady, by the way. I was kind of into this public defender.
Sure.
Who's this actress?
Oh, that would be
Deborah Raffin. Is that her? Yeah, there she is. Deborah Raffin. She played Catherine Hicks's sister on Seventh Heaven. Of course, you'll remember her from that.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
That's what I knew her from. Yeah.
By the way, she's also apparently in a movie called Scanners 2, The New Order. Does that mean we can cover Scanners?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Man. Wow.
I didn't know that existed.
Why don't? Was it theatrically released?
It must. I mean, it doesn't say TV movie.
All right.
Scanners 2, The New Order. Yeah,
Here
it is. Characters by David Cronenberg. All right. So
I was involved in the casting of that. I loved Scanners too.
you were not Penny. You were working on A League of Their Own at the time.
Penny, Don't talk unless I give you a cue. All right?
Don't
I'm sorry.
talk at a school, Penny. All right.
Oh, now, like the brother and sister are fighting.
The
through
dynamic,
this,
yeah.
Through the heavens and through a phone. Oh God. All right. Well, whatever. They'll try to keep quiet, but I can't guarantee anything. So yeah. So the cop gives him free license to kill.
License to Kill, one of your favorite
Yeah.
movies.
Not true, but yeah. Great Timothy Dalton.
Okay, so he meets this public defender, Deborah Raffin or whatever, and she is fucking wet for this guy.
Right off the bat,
he's like 65 years old,
it don't matter.
and she's like 20,
Yeah.
and she's super into him, and like to the point where he
Okay, I just looked something up.
Okay.
I don't want to. This is important because you said of their age. That you know what their age gap is
Tell me.
in real life.
Yeah.
32 years.
32 years. Okay.
Yeah, no big deal.
No big deal. She goes all the way to East New York to ask this guy out.
Yeah.
She says, like, I can tell you're not a creep. Creep is like their all-purpose word in this movie
Yeah,
for
they
like
love that
rapists
word.
and murderers.
Exactly. Yeah.
And she asks him out, and he like goes to her apartment where she cooks. They have no chemistry whatsoever. It's unbelievable.
Well, it's hard for Charles Bronson to have chemistry with anyone because he doesn't talk. You know, I mean,
She tries to like develop a rapport with him.
good luck.
So like she has this classic line because it's a first date conversation.
Right.
So I hate my sister, but I love sports.
That's a great line. I forgot about that line.
Henry, what would your version of that be on a first date? If we're on a first date, what would you say?
Of that?
Yeah, like for me, it would be like, nice to meet you. I'm Daniel. I hate gun violence, but I love Crispin Glover.
Yeah. I guess I'd be like, hey, thanks for cooking. First of all, I'm Henry. I'm Henry. I don't like olives and Republicans, but
Hey, whoa.
but I love the Mets.
Henry, I don't know
Yeah.
how we're friends.
Yeah.
I love olives and I hate the Mets.
Let me do take two.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Henry. Thanks for cooking. Of course, I appreciate that. Red noodles are my favorite. Oh God, I hate the Yankees, but I love a good vacuum cleaner.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an amendment.
I like it.
It's a second amendment for you.
Sure. Henry, it's really nice to meet you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yeah. Henry, I hate reality TV shows where they try and teach like old women how to dress. But I love ravioli. Do you want to fuck me? All right.
Yeah, that's about the extent of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have a great rapport. They do.
I love chandeliers, but I hate 44 Magnums.
Yeah.
Stop it.
All right, yeah.
I love reality competition shows, but I hate stained glass windows.
You know that mist that's on the front of your car when you start it and it's cold? I hate that.
But I love cars with boots in the back. Just random
Oh,
boots.
that was a real auto themed one. Okay. Listen,
All right.
The guns in this movie. Let's talk about it because this movie fetishizes guns way more than the first two. We talked about it on an early version of this episode. And like the first two movies, he just has that one gun that dude from Tucson gave him.
Right.
And in this one, he develops a bit of an arsenal. He's like fucking... That dude who he's like buds with gives him all these like huge fucking guns. Where by the end of this movie, he looks like Rambo or some shit.
Absolutely, it's absolutely that. Yeah. It's gun pornography. Yeah.
Yeah, in the same way like Fast and the Furious is like car pornography.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so he starts taking out these gangs. There's that one pretty slick sequence where he like gets a rental car and like waits for them to like hijack it.
What is this, man? Bait.
Yeah, bait car. That's like a whole reality show now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They like park a car on the street and wait for criminals.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds like entrapment to me, but what do I know?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Each their own.
Yeah, they do. Michael Winner does accomplish the hat trick of doing something. I don't know if another filmmaker has done this, but it's impressive. Being a walking piece of shit that he is, he has done a hat trick. By Death Wish 3, we have now seen the rapes of white women, Latina women, and a black woman.
Yeah, and there's no Asians
story there.
yet. They get away
Not yet.
free.
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Listen, it's like how many rapes in the first 3 Death Wish movies?
I lost
If
count.
we're counting gang rapes as just one rape.
It was like counting Jason's kills.
It
don't
really is. Speaking of Jason, I have a note here that says, this is the New York City of Jason Takes Manhattan.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. A much better movie in every way.
100% agree.
And I don't mean
Listen,
that like
I'm not going to
ironically.
sit here and like praise Death Wish 3 to the high heavens, but a franchise that we're watching that I'm really not enjoying very much,
right.
I at least enjoyed watching this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't.
So do you know about that black lady that got raped?
Yes, but our viewers will definitely not, so go for it.
You'll be into this, viewers.
Yep.
That's a young actress named Sandy Grizzle.
Mm-hmm.
Oy.
Oi!
I've got it.
Sorry, that was I could. Yeah.
Who said something about Sandy Grizzles? You talking about my privates right now?
Gary, they're not talking to you. Go back to heaven.
No, I was being Penny.
Oh, I have Penny here.
Okay, sorry.
Gary, you're in a seance.
Yeah, but I wanted to make a Sandy Grizzle joke, and it's,
so is that maybe it was Gary imitating his sister? That happens a lot.
That's true. That sibling rivalry.
Oh, right. Very funny, Gary. Talk about Sandy Grizzle some more, why don't ya?
Sandy Grizzle was Michael Winner's lover in real life.
Yeah.
I hesitate to say girlfriend. I'll go with lover.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she later said, I mean, this is a hashtag Me Too situation. I don't want to joke about it.
I would say it is definitely that.
Yeah. He apparently used to whip her and use her as a sex slave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I don't know what that means, but it sure sounds horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like too horrifying to contemplate. I don't even understand how
and then he puts her in this movie
to do this thing
just to get raped. She has no character whatsoever. At least the other lady that got raped, Mrs. Rodriguez, like had a character trait and shit. And it's like sad when she dies.
And she went on to be famous in the Star Trek.
That's right. Yeah, she's Deanna Troi, right, from Star Trek
Psychic.
Next Generation. Yeah. But this Sandy Grizzle, she's credited in Death Wish 3 as rape victim.
Ugh.
Which is a bummer. And that's her entire part is just like she's topless, a rapist gropes her, and then we see her pulled out of frame.
Yeah.
It's
that's
fucking gross.
It's very disturbing. Yeah, it's just so exploitative in every way. It's just terrible.
And
then you read that afterwards.
And it's out of place in this movie. It wouldn't be out of place in Death Wish 2, I think, but Death Wish 3 is so cartoony. It's a fucking Double Dragon movie. And it just there's no place for that shit.
Yeah, it didn't seem that out of place to me.
Dude,
but
we're fighting like the Road Warriors. Like
well, that's true.
I don't need to see these fucking cartoon characters raping.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, that's true.
Could you imagine if, like, halfway through the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder just, like, raped somebody? It'd be fucked up.
In all fairness, the TMNT reference never had gone through my noggin until you
Sure.
you threw it in there. So yeah.
They're the fucking Foot Clan.
Yeah.
What else you got, man?
I'm looking at Michael Winner's life, and I'm trying to figure out why he never did any jail time. Yeah.
A different time, man.
Yeah, it was a different time. You got that right. And in September 2011, he was admitted to the hospital for food poisoning. So that's good.
Not good enough.
No, not good enough.
No, when someone's a piece of shit like that, I want to hear a news story where they die. That's what I like. Like that guy from Glee recently.
What happened with him?
Mark Salling. He was a guy. He was one of the lead characters on Glee. He played a character named Puck. He got arrested and was on trial. They found something like 50,000 pictures of child pornography in his house.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
oh my God.
And just a couple weeks ago, he committed suicide.
Really?
Yeah. You got to feel good about it.
Yeah, sure, for sure. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. When I'm reading up on a guy like this Michael Winner, I want to get to the end of the story and just have them like, oh, and then, he got gang raped.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that would have been great. Let me see how he died, though. Maybe it was painful.
I hope it was.
Let's okay. In an interview with the Times newspaper, I assume the London Times, because he is British, Winner said liver specialists had told him that he had between 18 months and 2 years to live. He said he had researched assisted suicide offered at the clinic in Switzerland, but found the bureaucracy of the process off-putting. He died in his home at a traditional Jewish funeral in the Williston.
What does that mean? What, they stepped on a glass?
Well, they did get to throw dirt on him, I guess, right?
Yeah. I guess. Man.
Sickening. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anything here about his death.
Yeah, he's one of the guys who got away with it, like Chris Rock says recently.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just get away with it.
So don't do that voice. The third act of I don't like it.
You don't like it. Well, you're alone in that. I like it.
The third act of this movie is fucking great. It's just it's just a real shoot 'em up. Hundreds of people die. It is dynamite. There's
goes on a long time.
There's a few great deaths where like dudes get shot and fall off a rooftop, and then you get to see just like a dummy plummet.
The dummies, by the way, those stunt dummies, and one of them is when he kills the Cuban, Frost.
The giggler?
From Aliens. No.
Oh, the other, okay, yeah.
The cute. By the way, Dan, if you don't remember Frost from Aliens, you know how Aliens is full of great one-liners.
Yeah.
His one-liner, he's the Marine who dies pretty quickly, but his great one-liner is when they tell him to collect their magazines and take the weapons away, and he says, "Fuck, man, what are we supposed to use? Harsh language?"
That is a good line. I remember that.
That's Frost. Yeah. But when he kills
I
Frost,
prefer Nixon.
when he kills Frost Nixon and he throws the dummy off the roof, 4 feet off the roof.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments in the movie.
Is that the one where the dummy lands on the car?
Yeah,
And
but
it just crumples up.
But when Crazy Kersey throws him off, there's a shot of him falling, and the shot is literally of the guy. He falls like maybe 4 feet.
Uh-huh.
It's like right under him. And then we pan up, and it's more like 14 stories, so it's great continuity there. Love it.
But there are some oneers where, like, you see a close-up of a guy getting shot, and then it cuts to the like a far shot.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And it's just a dummy flailing in the air.
It
and
is
I was loving every second of it.
It's beautiful, and that is why, my friends, the stunt dummies are the MVP of Death Wish 3 for me.
They are strong. They are strong.
It was a no-brainer for me. This was stunt dummies. Yeah, they're very good. Yeah.
Now he goes off the chain in that last in the third act because they murder the girl he went on like one date with.
Yeah.
I love that shit, man. You just can't get close to this guy, and his reaction to it is fucking perfect. Where like they blow her up in a car.
Yeah.
Like, it just explodes. And then he like
they roll her down a hill.
Yeah, he sees it happen. He doesn't get there fast enough. And then he just like shrugs and walks away. Like, oh, another one dead.
Another one bites the dust.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's fine. He gets over a lot of romances
reacts. He reacts better to her getting murdered than the entire gang does when the giggler dies.
It's very true. I mean, he could teach anger management classes, grieving classes. He's very good.
Yeah.
You know, he's able to like compartmentalize, get the job done.
My favorite line reading in the movie, Henry, was when the giggler died.
What was that?
There's one of the gangbangers goes, "They killed the giggler, man. They killed the giggler."
Yeah. It's said with conviction.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that's the movie, right? Do you have anything else?
I got nothing.
All right,
man.
look, man. This is a movie about how the younger generations are ruining this city, and the olds have to band together and destroy them. It's a lot like the country today. It's just
very true.
A bunch of farting 70-somethings just trying to protect their shit.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah. I will mention one more line that I did write down. It's my favorite line in the movie, and then they ruined it by saying that Crazy Kersey was joking. And if they hadn't have said he was joking, it would have been just classic. When they're on their date, getting to know each other, saying those classic lines together.
Sure. I love steak, but I hate Monopoly. It takes too long.
Cue Bronson. I like opera.
Oh, yeah. And she goes like, you don't really like opera, do you? And
No.
he goes, no.
Yeah.
Because of course he doesn't like opera. What the fuck does this guy like? He likes blood. He likes killing bitches.
He likes killing people, mass murdering. Yeah.
I mean, does he have hobbies?
Yes.
Architecture? What?
Well, if you were to judge from the first movie, drinking bourbon out of a sifter would be one of them, but he kind of cuts back in these
snifter.
ones. Snifter, sorry.
Yeah,
Look at me being so uncultured.
That's right.
Yeah. I was never wealthy enough to drink it out of a snifter.
I was too much of an alcoholic to drink it from anything but the bottle. Okay.
I got a superhero count.
Wait, my other favorite line in this movie is after Mrs. Rodriguez gets taken to the hospital after being raped.
Yeah, for a broken arm.
Her husband shows up, and he's like, How is she? And Bronson goes like, she just has a broken arm. She's doing just fine. And then the doctor walks in and says, Mrs. Rodriguez has expired.
Yeah, it's excellent. That we're going to get to that again in the fourth movie, but the bedside manner of every doctor in every Death Wish movie is appalling. It's incredible.
Yeah, they all have autism, like the Good Doctor.
Yeah, they tell you news like, when you're at a drive-through and do you want salt with that? Do you need salt with that? Sir, there'll be $4.75, pull up. It's like your wife's expired. Your daughter's expired.
Expired? That's not
expired.
a way to put that shit.
No, she's expired. What my driver's license? What do you mean? My wife? Or, yeah.
Your wife, her life.
You're my wife.
Expired.
I like, by the way, your attempt, and it's come through a few times in both episodes, and mine has too, but not as much, to do a Charles Bronson impression. It's very specific. It's difficult because of his upbringing to pinpoint his
you can't do that accent. I'm just trying to get the vibe.
Right. No. And I admire that because it's like the accent is just, it's weird, right? I mean, it's like... It's right on point for somebody who didn't learn English for the first 13 years of their life.
It's insane. I mean, it sounds like someone from another country trying to do another country's accent, but it's just his voice.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. What's your superhero count? Go ahead.
Just two. Marina Sirtis, who played the Latina rape victim, who then went on to fame as the Star Trek Troy character.
Yeah.
Played the voice of Queen Bee in the cartoon Young Justice.
Oh, I thought you were going to say B-movie.
Only Ant-Man is the only insect that counts.
What's the deal with honey? That's what that movie was about, right?
What's the deal with honey?
What's the deal with bees wanting to fuck humans? I'm talking to you, Zellweger. Get over here. Hey!
I wanted to direct that movie, but you didn't want me to direct that movie, Jerry Seinfeld. I still don't like you. All right.
Jerry Seinfeld doesn't hire women. Get out of here.
Comedians and cars getting coffee if you're a man. All right, here's...
Comedians and cars getting coffee. The nicest cars. The nicest coffee. We have no problems. No one on this show has any problems whatsoever.
It's true.
Watch Jerry before Seinfeld.
All right, and the second superhero is Gavin O'Herlihy, who played the lead gang member, Manny Fraker, with the funny hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually remembered this when I didn't remember it. Well, I should say.
I think I know it.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'll be very impressed because I didn't. I had to, when I looked it up, it rang a bell.
Yo, does he work at the Daily Planet in those Superman movies?
Holy shit. Good for you.
Yeah, he's like the sports reporter guy. Brad.
Oh my god. You just pulled that up?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. All right, now bonus points since this is impressive stuff right now.
Okay.
Bonus points. It's only in one of the Superman movies. Which one is it?
I want to say 3.
You win the prize. Wow. I never told you any of that.
Well, I knew it wasn't the good ones.
Right.
So it was between 3 and 4.
Because that actor's very familiar. He always plays a bad guy.
I'm going to tell you something. He's my MVP.
I get that.
I think he's a good villain. I think
he is a good villain.
He's easily like the leader of the gang. You know, he doesn't like fall into the background. Like in that last sequence, you're waiting for Bronson to get to kill that guy.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're right. Maybe I shouldn't have... Well, I don't know. The stunt dummies I really had an affection for.
Those are great. I'm not going to argue.
They're really... I want them to get like a special mention. So
totally.
That's the way we do it on our show. So all right. So, yeah, he was Brad Wilson in Superman 3. So your MVP in this is Gavin O'Herlihy.
Yeah.
Your LVP in this?
My LVP is Michael Winner.
Yeah, the director of the movie, even though you didn't hate
No, more for just like, if this was like the exact same movie, like by a different director, like it could still have the rough edges and not be such gun porn and not be so rapey, you know?
Right. Well, my LVP is a tie, and it's an earned tie. It's Charles Bronson and Michael Winner for making this piece of shit happen.
What are you talking about?
Because you made the movie, Charles, and then you disowned it and said it was too violent, and you complained, and then you dumped Michael Winner. So kudos for that.
He
But
did.
you still, yeah, he did. But he still participated in all this nonsense, and I just, what the fuck, man? Come on, Bronson.
He
You're
also
you're-
like he's got this crazy haircut in this movie. He like he's like a 70-year-old man, but his haircut is like he went to like the dentist, and like the dentist, fucking the barber, and like they put like a bowl on his head and just like chopped. He looks
He's
like
got a
fucking
little-
Dennis the Menace in this movie.
Yeah, he's got a Ringo Starr thing going on
Yeah.
in there. Yeah.
Um,
Hey. Yeah.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Okay.
No.
Let's-
Place and love. Place and love.
Peace and love.
Hey.
Let's talk about it. Death Wish
Move on.
4, The Crackdown.
Yes. Oh, by the way, what's your rating on Death?
Oh, Hank,
Yeah.
it's a 2, but it's a nice solid 2.
Okay. So, recap for our listeners and for me. First Death Wish, I gave 3 stars. I think you gave 3 stars.
Yes.
Second Death Wish, I gave 1 star.
I gave 2.
You gave 2. This Death Wish, I'm giving 1 star as
I'm
well.
giving 2.
Okay.
Now,
Wow.
now this will tell you that Death Wish is a better film than Death Wish 3.
Right.
But if we're going to talk, but I don't, how do we do our rankings? Is it my favorites or is it best to worst?
Well, we've always really done it. I mean,
Personal?
no. Here, I was just thinking of something like the Fast and the Furious. Like I don't know that my star ratings have always coincided with my rankings. Yeah, I don't know that that's the case because I think I try to do that because that's the only it's the point of one of the main things of the franchise that we do. But I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I think if you thoroughly enjoyed Death Wish 3 more, but you still feel it's a 1-star movie,
Death Wish 3.
it can be your favorite movie in the series.
I like Death Wish 3 more than Death Wish. Death Wish is a better movie than Death Wish 3.
Okay, so honestly, everything you said is fair. So by that comparison, you should probably just give Death Wish 3 a 3-star to tie it with Death Wish the first.
I don't care about it. 2. It's a 2. I can't give this 3 stars.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can't in good conscience do that.
I
All
so
right.
far, yeah, I'm at a 1. It's worse than the second one, and I didn't think that was possible.
Okay.
So.
Let's
All right,
let's
Death Wish 4.
let's talk about a real one. Death Wish 4, The Crackdown.
Wait, easy.
All right.
Easy.
Listen, I'll decide as we talk. I don't have
Easy.
anything written down or anything.
Oh, you don't for
no.
Death Wish 4?
No, I have notes, but not like a grade or anything.
Oh, I do. Yeah, all right.
Death Wish 4, The Crackdown.
Yeah.
Thank God we have a new director.
We really do.
Okay,
We really do.
and he's like a real director.
He really is. I mean, the thing that I looked in his filmography is a man named J. Lee Thompson. And the thing I noticed that stuck out big time, I mean, there's a few that are very famous, but this Brit, another Brit, directed the original Cape Fear. The director did the original Cape Fear, which I love. Great movie.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer the remake, but it's
Oh,
good.
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's also he directed the Guns of Navarone. And,
Yeah, which I've never seen, but very famous.
yeah, a couple of the Planet of the Apes sequels.
Yeah. Yeah,
So like
yeah.
this J. Lee Thompson, he's like a legit guy.
For sure. Yeah.
And then we have a new writer. Although I guess this writer had written a draft of the third one that didn't get used.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Gail Morgan Hickman. And I mean, he's mostly
Hickman?
this is mostly a TV guy. He wrote a bunch of The Flash actually. That 90s
really?
TV show. Yeah, a bunch of episodes.
And he wrote the story idea for The Enforcer.
Is that true? Yeah.
Yeah, yes. So
Huh.
there you go. He's well versed in the vigilante.
The vigilante arts.
Yeah.
The dark arts of the.
Did you know that Death Wish 4: The Crackdown was remade as a Bollywood movie?
No, but that's awesome.
Yeah. I want to see it. I think we should cover it.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Gail Morgan Hickman.
There you
The
have
man with two female names. I thought it was a woman.
And also the word
Until I had
man
to-
in his name. So I don't know
Yeah,
what's going on.
Gail Morgan Hickman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which he wrote one of my favorite lines I've heard in this series, or maybe ever that we've covered, but we won't get there yet. I want to save it for the end. So
Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited to
you
hear
should
it.
be. I don't think you heard it. I had to go back, put the subtitles on, and do a double because I didn't believe I heard it, and then I was actually right. Yep.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yep.
Now, Canon was losing money. They had just made a film called Pirates.
Yeah. Is that the Kevin Bacon film?
Kevin Bacon? I don't think so.
No, I'm sorry. That's with a Y.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No, it's by a legit director, though. That must be why they bothered to make it. It's a Walter
Sure.
Matthau film by Roman Polanski.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's an odd couple.
Yeah, it's really weird. And so they lost a ton of money on that movie. And so the rest of the movies they made after that had a max budget of $5 million.
Right, max.
Max. So
How much went to Bronson?
So Death Wish 4: The Crackdown has a budget of $5 million, but $4 million of that went to Charles Bronson.
No way.
I swear.
You found that out.
Yes.
So we have a $1 million budget?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to say right now, I was already impressed with the change in director and the look and the pacing and the feel of the film, and now I'm even more impressed. This guy did all this for $1 million.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I know.
Because it's an upturn in quality production, at least. Even if you don't like it, it's a total upturn in the production.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's more of a real movie, which
Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
to me, it just means it's boring.
oh yeah, but it has actual shots.
Yeah,
There's-
sure.
you could tell that
It
someone
looks
was there
like
to
a
yell.
movie.
Someone was there to yell cut. You
Yeah.
know, they might have had a script supervisor. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
For this series.
It looks like nothing horrible happened backscene during the making of this. Backstage, I mean. Now, they didn't know what to do with this movie. They cranked it out in 2 years. Apparently, one of the big ideas was they were going to bring back Jill Ireland from Death Wish 2.
Yeah, I read
and
that.
have him try to get her back, but she had breast cancer at this time.
Yeah.
And so she decided she didn't want to act. So they end up with this weird fucking movie trying to say something about the drug problem in America.
Oh yeah, we are full throttle 1987.
Yeah, did you know that in the 80s kids were doing cocaine?
Yeah, man, we are full throttle Reagan era, man. This is like Nancy Reagan Just Say No era.
Oh,
That
it
is what
totally
this
is. This movie should be called Death Wish 4 Just Say No.
Yeah, yes, I agree, and my LVP is really good. I'm impressed.
Nancy
I'm proud
Reagan?
of it. Yes,
That's pretty good.
thanks. Thank you.
So
Well, before we start, we did not run through the 87.
no,
list.
it comes out November 6th, 1987. The box office for this baby was $6.9 million. A bit of a disappointment. It comes in at number 99 for the year in box office, right between the Chipmunk Adventure, which I'm pretty sure I saw as a kid.
I probably did too.
Yeah, and a movie called Hiding Out that I don't know anything about.
Never heard it.
Should we look it up? I bet it's
Hiding
great.
Out.
I bet it's great. This will be
I'll look it up. Yeah.
the number 98 movie of 1987. Here it is.
I found it.
John Cryer vehicle.
Looks great.
A stockbroker on the run from the mob decides to hide out from them by enrolling as a student in high school. By the way, I'll watch the fuck out of that.
This looks great.
That sounds great.
Annabeth Gish. Oh, man, I'm excited.
I'm going to watch this.
Wait, here's what the poster says. There's only one thing more frightening than murder. High school.
Yep. And it's because he's hiding out in high school. Hiding out.
By Bob Giraldi, the great Bob Giraldi. He directed the video for Beat It. Michael Jackson.
He also directed the video for Hello by Lionel Richie.
Oh.
And the video for Just the Two of Us by Will and Jaden Smith.
So this is a director of some pedigree.
Wait, was that the BFI theme song?
Oh, no, because he's American. But
okay,
just brought it out in me. I don't know. Yeah.
Death Wish 4: The Crackdown came out in 1987, a year we were cranking out fourth movies in franchises. This is the year of Jaws 4: The Revenge and Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. And somehow Death Wish 4: The Crackdown manages to be worse than both those movies. Maybe not Superman. Jaws 4: The Revenge is definitely better than Death Wish 4.
Yeah, yes. That okay, it's Jaws 4 is better than Death Wish 4, but Death Wish 4 is better than Superman 4.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Although Charles Bronson versus the Nuclear Man would have made a pretty good movie.
I would have loved that.
Yeah.
That would have been great. Yeah.
Oh, okay. 1987 list.
Good year for film.
Great year.
I'm going to start off with an honorable mention that I just added because it was a movie I always wanted to see. Dan's going to roll his eyes because he'll be like, of course you wanted to see this. But I finally watched it, and it's making my honorable mentions. And that is a movie called The Big Easy.
I don't know what that is.
It's a great, sultry film noir cop movie with Ellen Barkin and Dennis Quaid. And it is fantastic.
What, just up late at night fantasizing about what could have been with Ellen Barkin?
The thought did go through my head.
Of course it did.
More than once, or three or four times.
There
but
you go.
It's a really good movie. And by the way, for our 50 Shades listeners, a very sexy movie.
Ooh, baby.
So check it out. Anyway, that's honorable mention. Great fun. Number 10 is Lethal Weapon.
My number 10. You mean my favorite Christmas movie, Lethal Weapon?
That's right.
Thank you.
One of the best.
My number 10 is Evil Dead 2.
Okay. All right. My number 9 is Angel Heart.
My number 9 is David Mamet's House of Games.
Great movie. Not on my list, but can't be helped. Great movie.
Hey, Lethal Weapon and Angel Heart, great movies. Not on my list.
Yeah, I said it was a great year.
Great year, 1987, yeah.
Yeah. Number 8, Raising Arizona.
My number 8 is Wall Street.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My number 7, one of your favorite movies with your absolute favorite actor of all time, The Untouchables.
Oh, yeah, not a fan, man. The Untouchables.
Love it.
That's Coppola. No, it's De Palma. De Palma. I'm sorry. I get The Untouchables weirdly mixed up with The Outsiders in my head sometimes.
That's very strange.
Yeah, they're nothing alike. But yeah, not a good one. And I love.
I don't understand why you don't like that movie. But aside from Kevin Costner, you don't like Connery in it, or De Niro, or the score by Ennio Morricone's one of the best scores ever made.
Good score. I'll tell you what might not help is that I've read a lot about Elliot Ness, and I don't like the portrayal of him in that movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What's your 7?
Oh, my Moonstruck.
Oh. Yeah, it's a good movie. I never was over the moon about it like everyone else.
Well, I'll tell you what. I saw it pretty late in life, and it was
So did I.
It was the kind of thing like it's a fucking Cher movie from the late 80s that like everyone loves. Like I'm definitely going to hate this.
Right.
And I fucking love it, and it's one of my favorite Nicolas Cage performances. So
yeah, no, it's very good. I don't love it, but you're right. It's very good, but I avoided it for the same reasons. The number 6 movie of 1987, the fantastic movie with Mickey Rourke, Barfly.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah, phenomenal movie.
My number 6 is a film we've covered on this podcast, Predator.
Ah, yeah. My number 5, Fatal Attraction.
Okay.
Great movie.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
I don't know.
I've seen it many times. It is a great movie.
I'm supposed to believe he wants to bone Glenn Close that bad.
That's the hardest thing to believe.
Okay.
Because he's married to Ann Archer, which makes it even harder to believe.
Totally.
But you know, it's very good.
What number are we up to? 5?
You're at 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
RoboCop.
Not on my list. Number 4, Predator.
Number 4, Near Dark.
Oh man, right. Jesus. Not on my list. Huh? Number 3, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Nice. My number 3 is Raising Arizona.
Yes.
Shout out to Christian Toto.
Oh, right. Isn't that like his favorite movie of all time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. My number 2 movie of 1987 is Wall Street.
So high, but I mean, I'm not gonna argue too much.
Absolutely high.
Wall Street, a movie that deals with the influx of the cocaine phenomena, far better.
Yeah.
Sure. My number 2 is I think another Woody Allen movie that you don't like, Radio Days.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Those are like the 2 misfires for me.
I love them both.
In that period. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah. The number 1 movie of 1987. Now, I would like to say, of course, but I don't remember if it is. So.
I believe since this was not on your list yet, it must be your number 1.
Well, it was on my. What do you mean? No.
The number 1.
Yeah, the number 1. So,
do you think? I think we have the same thing.
yeah, okay, that's what I was saying. I didn't think you ever had it, but I've always said it's always been my number 1.
It's always been my number 1.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought you didn't put that up there. Okay.
No, Full Metal Jacket's fucking great, man.
Starring Death Wish 2's Raptor Man.
What? Oh, yeah. Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I've never seen a Matthew Modine movie. Haven't I said that on this podcast like 4 times?
Haven't you said what on this podcast?
That I've never seen a Matthew Modine movie because I always forget that he's like the fucking main character.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
MVP Arlie Ermy. Okay. Death Wish 4, The Crackdown. We're back in Los Angeles. What are we doing? Skip hopping all over this fucking country. But only ever on the coasts. I want to see a Midwestern Death Wish movie. I want to see him shooting up Omaha.
That wouldn't work because everyone in Omaha would have a gun.
It's a good point. People fight back.
Yeah, they'd kill him.
Yeah. In the Death Wish movies, I appreciate they
Although
really
he is
are.
white. He is white.
True. I like that they're like double dragon villains. Like sometimes you see characters in like Death Wish 3 like riding on motorcycles just swinging chains in the air.
Like in a video game.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at your left corner. It's the guy with the chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Death Wish 4, The Crackdown. It opens on a girl walking alone in a parking garage. And the second this movie opens, I'm just bummed. I'm like, oh, God, she's
I was
gonna
too.
get raped, isn't
I
she?
was too. I was too. But then.
But she does! Listen, I know. It turns out to be a dream. It's Bronson dreaming.
Sequence.
Yeah.
Dude, who could ask for anything more than a Bronson dream sequence and his reaction to waking up to it? I literally just slapped my knee. Oh, I was in.
But it's a bummer because we see the whole dream sequence. Like, we see her get raped.
Almost. They don't get to the point.
But we see her rip off her clothes.
No, it's awful. Yeah,
it's fucked up. But then, so Bronson comes in and he like fucking shoots the rapist.
Right.
Oh my God, that shot of her she's like in her car and she looks up and like a dude's standing there, and then she like tries to get her car started and she looks up and a second dude's standing there.
Friday the 13th.
And then a
stuff
third.
there.
It was fucking awesome.
That was great.
So he kills the rapist and then he looks down and he sees himself. He's the rapist. It's
But
like it's the fucking ghost blowjob sequence of Death
really
Wish
is.
4 the Crackdown.
It really is. It really is. But not before he sees his face. It's not before the guy in the pantyhose on his head says, "Who are you?" Death.
Right.
Wish for the Crackdown.
Did I talk about the ghost blowjob in Lady Bird on the podcast yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, now this was something a guy emailed me.
I haven't seen the movie. Is this going to ruin anything?
No, it won't, but you should see that. What are you doing?
No, it's on my queue.
A fellow named Joshua Lemmer emailed us, and he watched Lady Bird, and he said that the football coach that teaches drama in Lady Bird is the ghost blowjob of that movie. And I watched that fucking movie, and it's a perfect movie, and he's totally right. That little bit, it's one character, he's in 2 scenes, and he sucks.
Oh. Well pointed out.
All right,
man.
so thank you, Joshua.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ghost blowjob. Anyway.
Yeah.
In this movie, he's back architecting. He's dating a
Yeah.
Bad
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Stop dating like journalists and lawyers and cops, like people
And
that
radio
would care
hosts.
if you're a fucking vigilante.
Yeah,
Like,
very bad.
Yeah.
He's very poor at covering himself. He's very poor at it. He doesn't seem to care.
Yeah, it's like he wants to get caught, and maybe that's part of the psychology of Paul Kersey.
I think so.
Oh, okay. So he's with this young hot lady,
Yeah. Whose daughter is Audrey
even younger
from
and even hotter. No, oh yeah, right. She's the little girl from fucking Vacation.
Oh, yep. It's Audrey, folks.
I was excited to see her.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever seen her in anything other than Vacation.
Totally, and she looks great.
Oh.
Yeah. I think she's supposed to be playing like 16 or something, but she's clearly not.
I have no idea.
So he's like a part of this family, okay? He's over for dinner. He's like helping the girl with her homework or whatever.
Yeah, for the record, she's 21 in that movie.
All right, then not too bad.
21.
I'm not a creep.
No, I was just curious about her, how old she was.
Sure.
She's 51 now. Yeah.
She's alive?
Yeah, she's doing well. Yeah,
Oh, good for her.
doing well.
Okay, so she
Not really. Yeah,
she
go ahead.
goes out with this fella. All right? And Bronson goes to like his lady like, "Hey, do we like this guy? Is he all right? I don't
Because he
know.
lights a joint.
I don't know if I trust this fella."
You like this Randy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that her name? Oh, that's the
His
guy's
name.
name, Randy. Right.
Randy.
You know he's a creep if his name is Randy.
It's very true. Yeah.
Randys are weird.
Randy.
All right. So they go out. They go to the arcade because it's 1987. Who is this kid? He's like fucking Fred Savage and the Wizard.
Hey man, I hung out at arcades in 1987.
Of course you did. That's what people did.
Yeah, right.
People
I
hung
didn't
out
have-
at arcades.
That was pre-Sega Genesis, so I probably just had the regular Sega at that point.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
playing fucking Centipede all night.
Yeah, you had a rattle at that point and a bottle. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's 1987. Yeah.
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah.
All
right.
So they buy. A drug dealer gives her drugs,
Yeah.
and I thought it was heroin, but I guess it was cocaine.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the 80s. Who we kidding? Of course it's cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like cocaine. It wasn't
No.
white. It's like he handed her a bag of sand, basically.
Yeah. Hey, they only had $1 million. They couldn't afford to buy.
You know when you buy cocaine and you feel it and it
Right.
feels like a bag of sand.
Is that a 40-year-old virgin reference?
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
So
Yeah.
she takes the drugs and she dies of a cocaine overdose.
They tried a Narcan her too, but didn't
Was Narcan? Do they try to Narcan her?
yes, because
I didn't think so. I don't think
no.
screenwriters knew about Narcan until Pulp Fiction came out.
They say
Narcan?
Yes.
That's impressive.
Yes. I was very surprised because I didn't think it existed either. I didn't even think they
Did
used
Quentin
it.
Tarantino learn about Narcan from Death Wish 4: The Crackdown?
Probably. He was probably sitting in his video store playing Elvis on the Golden Girls and watching Death Wish 4.
He 100% saw this movie in theaters.
Absolutely. I gotta tell you. Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
I want to be just like Michael Winner. One day I'll abuse women on set.
I try to get the concept right.
Oh.
Narcan.
Yeah. Okay.
Copyright 1987.
So he goes to the
The hospital where they tell him she's expired.
she's expired, and they tell him like kids are dying all over from this cocaine stuff, and and the fucking weirdo doctor starts like uncovering dead bodies and saying like this guy died for.
Well, she requests that his reporter girlfriend wants to do a story.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So she goes to the like city morgue and like wants to see them all, and one guy's burned and another guy. Yeah.
And the doctor goes, "This is a 13-year-old girl.
She's like
selling.
30.
She was selling herself on the street to support her habit." Jesus.
I do have two notes that I want to bring up. Okay, when they uncover one of the dead bodies, the extra moved his eyes.
Of course, that's great.
Very visibly. It's not subtle. It's great. Loved it.
Right there in the movie.
And this is one of those movies where I think I could speak for both of us. I am not glued to the television. I mean, I'm paying attention. I'm watching. I'm giving it my attention.
I'm fucking bored. I'm more bored watching Death Wish 4 than I was any of the first three.
So, my mind's a little wanted, but there's I see the eye twitch. And I did want to sum up a great line. This whole movie can be summed up by a line that
Is this your favorite?
No.
Okay.
Oh no. You got to wait for my favorite. But this is the movie that is the theme of the movie. When his girlfriend is upset about her daughter, more so than Charles Bronson is, he looks right at her in the eyes and he says, "It's those damn drugs."
It is.
End quote. It's those damn drugs.
It's those damn drugs, and that is what this movie is about. It's so fucking weird because like no one murders and rapes this girl. Like she has an overdose.
That was refreshing to get away from.
Absolutely, but it's my contention, Henry, that we don't need to kill someone that knows Paul Kersey in every single one of these movies. He's had enough tragedy in his fucking life that he can just be a vigilante.
That's true.
Like, it's like the writers of these Death Wish movies, like, they can't write a movie without a fucking Sid Field book sitting on their desk. And it's like they're starting over every movie, and they're like, we need an inciting incident.
Right.
You fucking
Batman's
don't. You don't. His daughter was gang raped 2 movies in a row. He could just want to kill people for the rest of the series. Yeah.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed. I do want to say though but thank God that he is killing people because we get one of my favorite deaths in the whole series.
Okay.
When he shoots Jojo, the drug dealer, in the arcade, and Jojo falls onto the top of a bumper car net.
Yeah.
And gets electrocuted. You knew something was going to happen with those bumper cars, foreshadowing, because they kept showing them. Like, they showed them, and then they cut to the inside of the arcade, and they show them, and sure enough, Jojo...
it's true. They're trying to, like, build suspense. He's trying to do, like a The Conversation kind of a scene, like where like he's in the park and we're cutting around, like there's that guy walking, and it does not work at all. Like, because first of all, the cuts are too long. Like, it's like we cut away and it's just like bumper cars for like 20 seconds, and then we're back.
It's true.
And this all happens in like the first 15 minutes of the movie, where like this girl goes out, overdoses, dies. Charles Bronson finds the exact guy that gave her the drugs and kills him. And I'm like, what is the rest of this movie?
Oh, it's getting ready, man. It's just getting set up.
So
I'm just getting warmed up.
He meets this rich guy.
Played by John P. Ryan, very famous buddy of Jack Nicholson. He was in a lot of movies, Five Easy Pieces, King of Marvin Gardens, a lot of Jack movies.
What, is he part of Jack Nicholson's Pussy Posse?
I think he might have been, man.
Okay.
They were tight. You look at his filmography, there's several Jack movies on there.
That's true. I think he's in he's in the fucking Chinatown and the Two Jakes.
Oh, is he? I don't even remember him in those.
I believe so, yeah.
Look at that. Okay, yeah. So he has... I was confused because when I was watching it, I know how he sounds, John P. Ryan, the actor. So when he's on the phone, and then when he meets Charles Bronson for the first time, he talk a little.
He like what? This. You're breaking up. Say it again.
He talked a little bit like this, and it was very confusing to me.
Oh, he's doing an accent, yeah.
Like an Asian accent.
Right, because later on in the movie, we learn something about him. Okay.
Yes, we do.
So this guy, we meet him, and he says, like, his daughter died of a drug overdose, too, and he's going to finance... He says there's only... this movie takes place in Los Angeles. This guy says there are two gangs in Los Angeles. That's it. They're only... And I'm not talking about the Crips and the Blood, because...
No, I knew you were going to say it. Yep.
All of these gang members are white. And most of them most of them Italian.
Yeah, that too. Very true.
And then, so he finances Charles Bronson's operation. So Charles Bronson has like a whole new set of guns in this movie that we can gawk at. And all of a sudden, also Paul Kersey has picked up as an architect how to bug phones and stuff.
Yeah, he is one talented guy here.
He's doing that all the fuck over this movie. He's like the guy that worked with John McTiernan.
Yeah. I will point out that we're 4 movies in, and not a one character can still say Paul Kersey's name correctly.
Carsey, yeah.
It's all over the place, all over. Every character, nobody knows. And of course, you can't ask the director because he's a Brit, so he'll be like Paul Kersey. How the fuck do you say your name? Blimey.
Well, I mean, they're taking a cue from Charles Bronson, and Charles Bronson doesn't know how to say words, so it's difficult.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
So the plan here is he's going to play these gangs against each other. Like, he's going to start killing gang members and make them think the other gang is doing it.
Yeah.
Start a gang war. So he goes...
So there is a plot.
Yeah. He goes into that wine bar...
Yep.
And just like blows up the whole bar. Like, I mean, what the fuck? There had to be like collateral damage in that.
He kills Danny Trejo.
Yes, yeah. Machete himself is in that scene.
Yeah. Machete. Yeah.
And what else? Fucking. There's that great scene where he throws that dude out the window. There's that like really toxic couple. And they're like sniping at each other for like 5 minutes. It goes on forever. She goes, "How do I look?" And he says, "Like shit." And it just goes on like that.
Ooh, yeah. And then he falls. Another great dummy fall.
Another great dummy. Yeah.
Oh man.
Dynamite stuff. And so that
throw him off the 34th floor. Yeah, film the whole thing.
Yeah. I loved that sequence, even though it goes not too long.
It was an African American dummy.
It certainly was.
Yeah.
The whole movie basically, it's sort of like Charlie's Angels, but if Charlie's Angels were like a 70-year-old mustachioed gentleman. Because like
Bronson 66 at the time.
John P. Riley, is that his name?
John
Ryan. John P. Riley. He's like fucking Bosley in this movie.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't blame you for getting the name messed up, man. I mean, the director's J. Lee Thompson, John P. Ryan. Everybody needs initials.
Yeah, too many initials. H.P. Lovecraft.
Soon Tech Ho and
is that
Gail,
the Asian cop?
Yeah, Gail Morgan Hickman.
The Asian cop turns out to be crooked. You know what I appreciated, though, Henry?
That they had an Asian cop.
And they never make a single reference to him being Asian.
That's very true. And a year later in Dirty Harry the Deadpool, he has an Asian partner, and they're constantly making references to it. So that's very true.
I was so waiting for a gong sound effect or a ching chong wong thing or
hiya. Yeah,
anything
or
like that. Yeah, what are you going to karate chop me? Yeah.
Right.
And no, he's just like a cop who happens to be Asian. He turns out to be a crooked cop, sure.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate that.
Yeah. The enlightened world of Death Wish 4, The Crackdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, what else? There's a shootout at a roller rink. I enjoyed that.
That was awesome.
Fucking hot skates shot up to shit.
Oh yeah, I like the ambush sequence in the oil field when he's stalking them with his rifle and they think that they're against each other.
The only problem with that sequence is it's so good. Like it works well as a climax to the movie.
He's a good director. Yeah.
That like when that scene's over and like all the gangs have like killed each other and shit.
It should be over.
Like there's another half hour left in this movie.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because they want to throw another plot twist in there at the end, with the crooked
cop.
Well, no, the John P.
Oh, that's right. John P. Riley turns out to be crooked.
Yeah, John C. Riley is the crooked. Paul Thomas Anderson is the crooked. He's not actually mourning the dead. He is a drug lord himself,
and
who hired Paul Kersey.
He wants to wipe out these two gangs so that he can run the drug scene in Los Angeles.
That's right.
And so at the end of the movie, he starts talking like this, like, "Hey, remember that shitty accent I was doing this whole movie?
How he talks.
This is my real voice."
And that's how he does sound whenever he's in any other movie. So
yeah. So we've got to take that guy down, which we do, and his lady dies, which I didn't think we needed.
So unnecessary.
Yeah, we have to kill her off in the last 10 minutes of this movie.
There's no reason, and he just walks away. He didn't even look at the body.
I thought she should have been in the movie more. I thought his lady, that actress, was pretty decent, and and it worked that she was an investigative reporter, and they set it up that she was doing research on like drug violence, and so why? I wanted it to be like she's doing research about who the vigilante is, and she's sleeping with the vigilante or something. But we only like intermittently check in with her, and then she gets killed. Yeah,
sure. Her death is very unnecessary. Of course, saying something like that in one of these movies is a weird feeling. But all right, it's time for the best line in the movie.
I'm ready.
Okay, so in the end of the movie, John P. Ryan is cornering Bronson, and he has now commandeered a lot of the men from the other two gangs that are, need employment now.
Sure.
Presumably. And the black fellow driving the car, they go up, and Bronson sends an empty car. They blow the car to hell. Do you remember this?
Oh my God, he explodes this motherfucker.
Yeah, right. So as they're doing that, the black guy driving the car leaves in the dust, understandably so. He leaves John P. Ryan in the dust. And as he's pulling away, John P. Ryan yells after him. And I paused it, went back, and put the subtitles on, and this is what showed up on my screen. "You fucking black fag." Worth the wait?
Fucking way.
Worth the wait? Yeah. I thought I heard it, And then I was like, nah, he didn't say that.
You fucking black fag.
Yep.
That had to be an ad lib from John Paul Ryan.
John Paul Jones. I don't know, man. But he yelled it. Yep. It's in the white subtitles. It came right up. You fucking
the white subtitles.
Yeah.
They better be white.
Yeah. The subtitles can buy a gun with no permit.
Yep.
All right.
We're still talking about it.
Yeah, no. All right. Yeah.
Henry.
Yes, sir.
What do you give Death Wish 2 the Crackdown? Death Wish 4 the Crackdown?
I'm giving Death Wish 4 the Crackdown 2 stars.
Me too.
It's a solid 2. This was a well put together movie.
It's just too long. You gotta chop 10 minutes out. And
I agree, but of the 4, I will say I think it's the best directed one.
Oh, well, sure. Michael Winner's a piece of shit, but
I mean, he's terrible.
No, the first one's the best directed one.
No, I don't agree. There's too many dumb shots and bad close-ups and stuff. I think this man is a better director.
Maybe, but I still like maybe this is better than Death Wish 2, but that's about the best I can say for it.
My order right now is 1, 4, 2, 3.
Mine's 3, 1, 4, 2.
Okay. MVP for me is the director, J. Lee Thompson.
Okay.
My LVP is a couple. It's Ronald and Nancy Reagan.
Okay. My MVP, I'm going to go with the girl from Vacation. And my
All right. Okay.
And my LVP is I mean, there's plenty of people I didn't like in this fucking movie.
You want to give it to John P. Ryan for agreeing to say that line?
Maybe. I mean, he wasn't very good in this movie. It's a weird performance.
Yeah, he's asked to do 2 people.
I'll go with him.
Okay. All right.
Superhero count?
Yeah, I got 4.
Oh, okay.
An actor named Tim Russ, who played a character in this called Jesse. I don't know who it was, do you? He was in Spider-Man playing Prowler, voice of Prowler.
The cartoon?
Yes.
Prowler's a pretty major character. That's cool.
Yeah, all right. And in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, he played Black Panther and Colossus.
Interesting. Black Panther and Colossus. Got a wide range.
Tim Russ. Yeah, Tim Russ.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. John P. Ryan.
Okay, what's John P. Ryan been in? Go ahead.
He was in Batman Mask. He said he was in Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, okay.
As Buzz Bronski.
All right, fine. Who else?
Sure, he was in one. Oh yeah, Danny Trejo. We've covered before.
Machete.
But, no, I didn't count that. He's in The Crow, Wicked Prayer.
Oh, he's such a perfect Crow cast member, that guy.
Yeah, sure. He plays Ox in the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon. He plays Bane in Young Justice. He plays the Neutralizer in TMNT.
Amazing.
And latest is he plays a character in the Flash TV series called Breacher.
Yeah, right.
I didn't know. No.
Yeah, Vibe is a character on the Flash. He's like, he can like go into alternate universes or whatever.
Okay.
And he started dating this like hot girl from an alternate universe, and then he's like kind of the nerdy, funny guy on the show. Mm-hmm. And then he finds out that her father is Danny Trejo.
Uh-oh.
It was cute.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
All right, and finally I have Karen, Bronson's love interest, who gets gunned down. Kay Lenz, that actress. She was in an episode of Lois and Clark. And she was in many episodes, apparently, playing the American Maid in the show The Tick.
That's right, yeah. I know the American Maid.
Well, there you go. That's her.
Yeah, she wears an apron.
Yeah.
And a Wonder Woman costume, kind of. Okay.
All right, that's it.
All right, man.